Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about functions. And I also talk a little bit about classes. Imagine a game like GTA, Grand Theft Auto. In this game, we have many things. We have cars, we have characters, we have people and characters, that people. And also we have bikes and boats and guns. If we want to write the code of GTA, the car, the boat, the characters, all of them have classes. And in their classes, they have functions. For example, a car is a class. Its class has some variable, for example, a speed, accelerate speed, or car price, or any variable that a car will contain. And it has some functions. For example, a car goes forward or downward, or a car rotate. And in GTA, in some cars you can shoot bullets, and every single one of these becomes a function. For example, car movement is a function, car rotation is a function, car shot or car fire is a function. For example, tanks can shot in GTA, and it is true for every single other object. For example, guns has bullet capacity, has bullet power, has bullet speed, and every single one of these is variable. And the gun also has a function which is shot or reload. And these things that should do that they are functions, and the static thing is variables that we use. And we can declare a class for car and make multiple car by this class. For example, a super sport car has the same class as a middle range car, but the speed of the super class car is, for example, 300, and the speed of the middle range car is 200. And also there is another concept called inheritance. For example, boats and bikes and cars has many things in common, but they don't have something. For example, a car and bike can drive, can rotate, but in the car you can only shoot with two on your left and right in old GTAs. In the new one you can, by the new one I mean GTA IV and newer ones, you can shoot whenever you want. But in the old GTA, like GTA San Andreas, you can only shoot into the right side or the left side. But in the bikes you can also shoot to your forward. So inheritance is like you create a class called vehicle, And in vehicle, you only write the things that are shared between all of these vehicles. Then you create a car class, and in the car class you make the vehicle class the parent class of the car class, and in the car class you have all the things that are in vehicle class, and you add car things, or you add the boat things, or you add the bike things. For example, if you had vehicle class, and in every vehicle you can shoot to your left and right, in the bike class you add a function that is named shot to forward. And these functions are good and we should use them. And also there is a book which is about agile principles, and in that book it will says, the book writer, I don't know his name, but I know his nickname is Uncle Bob. If you search this you can see it. He states the solid pattern or solid principles, and S of the solid is single repository. I only tell you that because if you want to know about other things you can read about them, and they took a lot of time to explain. And for example, here we can see we have a class called MoveTels. Every time we create a script in Unity, the Unity automatically declare a class for us with the file name, and also make two functions, which now I delete one and I change one. I make the update one to fixed update. And I now, instead of these two lines of code, I declare another function called void, and I can name this everything function. Void, for example. I want to name this rotation. Parentheses open and close, brackets open and close. And I cut this line of code and paste it here. And you can see I write this function here and parentheses open and close. I want to show you something. This void is the value that this function returns. For example, I can change this to int or float. Now I will see an error. It says not all code path return a value. And if I want to fix this, I should return a float. For example, I can return this number. And if I write a value, and for example, now this 4 is the output of this function, and it will go to the G. But now I want to use void because I don't want any values to return. And you can see by writing this code we can execute it, and this is outside of our fixed update. Another use case of functions, we can use functions multiple times. For example, if you have a, but for now I want to only clean up our project a little bit. And also I use another functions called movement. parentheses open and close, brackets open and close, and cut this and paste this here. And also I want to delete all these comments and also delete all our previous values, and I write movement here. Instead of this X, I should write move speed. I should do this in our previous video, but I forgot. So now our code looks a lot cleaner. And also I want to show you another thing. Functions can get values. For example, right now I just want to test this and show you it will work. I hit play, you can see the cube movement is fine, the cube rotation is fine, and all of our things are working correctly. Now I want to show you the other two things of a function. For example, I write a function with type of int, and I name this sum. I write to another int and I return the summation of this. No, I actually want to multiply this and make this multiply and return the multiply of these values. So now I can write multiply, and if I close this, you can see I get an error. It says there is no argument given that corresponds to require the formal parameter x of the move test.multiply. You can see we have an x and y. So I get this a 2. We still have a problem. This time it's for the y, and I give them a 3. You can see the code now doesn't have any errors, but it doesn't show us. I write a debug.log to get this value. And I also want to make this an string, so I call it to a string and the last. So multiply 2 by 3, we should get 6 because x is 2, y is 3, 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. Now if I hit play, we have an error which is says that there are two audio listeners in the same place. Ensure that there is always exactly one audio listener. This problem caused by this main camera and our main camera, both of these has audio listeners, so I should remove this component of the render texture camera and save this. Now we shouldn't see this error. I hit play, so now we can see a 6 number. This 6 number is the result of this function. Now if I change this, if I want to change this, I want to make this 0, make this 7 and 10. So the result must be 70. Instead of this 6, we expected the 70. Now, as I said, we'll see 70. So this is a function and it takes 2 arguments, and also I can make this int values another thing. For example, I can make this get another thing that is a string, and for example string n, and I can also use this n somehow in our code. I want to just write this to to show you it is not it doesn't force you to use the same input or output. You can use anything for your output return type. For example, I write here void and I write here int, and you can use anything for your functions input. For example, I use 2 ints. You can also use a string float or anything that you want. But you should always return the exact type that you write here. If it was a void, you can simply don't return anything. But if it's something you like, for example int or float, you should return int. If it were float, you should return float. And right now you can see it shows an error because it takes another parameter, but I don't give them. If I delete this, you can see the error goes away. Now you can see we can use this function whenever we want to multiply a number. And also I want to show you something beautiful. For example, you can see this debug. I said dot log. This log is a function that its input is this, and this will show the input to you here. Here. And also you can see this is a function, and also this transform.translate, this is another function that will get input that it gets axis. It has 3 parameters that it will get, and also this input.get axis is another function. This rotate also is another function, and this transform or this input, these are class. If you want to see the code of them, for example, if I want to see the code that I write for the multiply, I can right click on this and go to the definition. You can see the Visual Studio shows me this, and if I click on the get axis, for example, and go to the definition, you can see it will go to the input, but because it is a parent class, I don't see the values. But sometimes I can click on this get axis, it will go to the place that it is here, but we can't see the code because probably maybe it's hidden, or maybe it's because it's written in another class and it's the parent class, not the child class that we are using. And also I can go to this translate, and you can see it has some explanation to it. Anyway, most of the Unity classes are hidden, and you can buy the open source version. It is expensive, and that's it for this video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you found this video helpful, consider to like and subscribe. I put a lot of effort to show you the object-oriented programming patterns and show you how to and what are functions, how to use functions and what are functions and why we use them. And I hope you have a good day.